A blessed day to you. Welcome to our channel. This is day 24 of our children Bible story. Here's a retelling of the beautiful biblical story of Elisha and the widow's oil, inspired by 2 Kings 4:1-7. Please enjoy watching. In a small town in ancient Israel, a poor widow approached the prophet Elisha in desperation. Her husband, a faithful servant of the Lord, had passed away, leaving her with heavy debt. The creditors were now threatening to take her 2 sons as slaves to pay off what was owed. Tears streaming down her face, the widow pleaded, "Elisha, please help me. I have nothing left but my 2 boys and a small jar of oil in my home." Elisha, moved by her plight, asked gently, "What do you have in your house?" "Only a little oil," she replied sorrowfully. Elisha smiled with confidence and gave her an unusual instruction. "Go to your neighbors and borrow as many empty jars as you can. Do not gather just a few, get as many as possible. Then go inside, shut the door with your sons, and pour the oil from your small jar into the borrowed containers." Although puzzled, the widow obeyed Elisha's words. With her son's help, she collected jar after jar from her neighbors. Once inside her home, they closed the door, and the widow took her small jar of oil in trembling hands. She began to pour the oil into the first jar. To her astonishment, the oil kept flowing, filling the jar to the brim. She moved on to the next jar, and the oil poured just as freely. Jar after jar was filled to the top, and the oil never stopped flowing. The once empty vessels now overflowed with the miraculous provision of God. When every borrowed jar was full, the oil finally stopped flowing. The widow, overwhelmed with gratitude and amazement, ran back to Elisha to tell him what had happened. Elisha said, "Now go, sell the oil, and pay your debts. You and your sons can live on what remains." This miraculous act of provision not only saved the widow's sons from slavery, but also demonstrated God's abundant love and care for those who trust in Him. The story of Elisha and the widow's oil teaches several timeless lessons. 1. Faith in uncertainty. The widow's willingness to follow Elisha's seemingly unusual instructions demonstrates the importance of faith, even when the solution doesn't make sense at first. 2. Obedience opens doors to blessings. By acting in obedience to Elisha's guidance, the widow experienced God's miraculous provision, showing that blessings often follow trust and action. 3. God provides abundantly. The limitless flow of oil signifies how God's provision is more than enough to meet our needs. He cares deeply for those who depend on Him. 4. Start with what you have. The miracle began with the widow's small jar of oil, teaching us that even what little we have can become significant when offered in faith. 5. Community and humility. Borrowing jars from neighbors not only created a sense of community but also required humility, teaching us that it's okay to seek help during times of need. 6. God sees our struggles. The widow's plight was dire, yet God's response shows He is always aware of our struggles and ready to intervene with grace and compassion. These lessons emphasize trust, action, and God's unwavering love. Looking forward to connecting to us again soon. Take care and stay inspired. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. God bless you.